So, Jean-François, quite a poll. I want you to hear what Pascal Bérubé had to say today about the poll, but specifically about Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon.
Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon is used to be underestimated, to be the underdog. Watch him, he's good. He represents the future of politics in Quebec, and the future is about Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon more than François Legault.
Well. So first of all, Jean-François, your reaction to this poll, yes, it's 30% versus 24%, and yeah, that's significant. Perhaps more significant, 21-point swing. So the PQ gains 11, the CAQ loses 10. What did you make of this?
Well, it's exactly a communicating, in French we say des vases communicants. I mean, when the CAQ loses a voter, the PQ gains the voter. But it's coming back, because when I was leader of PQ, my voters were going to the CAQ to make sure that the Liberals would be beaten in 2018. So it's the return of these voters. Why do they come back? It's because they are disappointed with Legault, and they find that Plamondon is attractive. And when you look at the sequence of polling, the poll last month where the PQ was growing but not overpassing the CAQ, Plamondon had overpassed Legault as the favored premier. Mm-hmm. And so that was a precursor to saying that PSPP is pulling the party towards a higher, and clearly Legault is pulling his party lower because just before this new poll was taken, was the announcement of the 5 to 7 million for the LA Kings. So that certainly didn't help. What strikes me is that others like Jean-Marc Lisée had said at some point in the next year, if the trend holds, the PQ will overtake the CAQ. I would not have thought that this would be so soon.
You know, it's interesting you use the word trend, Jean-François, and we're always very careful to point out this is just one poll. Let's not make too much out of it, I guess. I would say that if it were only a few points as a difference here, but it's a very, very big spread. We're not used to seeing something like that. And you wonder how long when you're the party in power, and obviously François Legault was confronted with that today. He didn't seem to be too concerned. He said, it looks like people are angry or whatever. I'll try to do better. It was kind of a bit of a brush off, I thought. But how concerned are you when you're the party in power and this happens and you're thinking, do you have to make some radical moves here or not?
Well, clearly, Legault is more concerned than others because he played this very exact movie, but in the reverse role. Because when he was pretty much in the opposition, he didn't know how it would go for him, and then there was this discontentment towards the Couillard government that hadn't coalesced yet. But there was this by-election in Quebec City, in Louis Hébert, where the CAQ really won over a Liberal stronghold, and then the rest of the public opinion shifted towards the CAQ in a lasting way until the election. That was only a year before the 2018 election. But now he sees the reverse movie where he's the leader. There is the discontent. It coalesces in a by-election in Jean Talon, and then the rest of the public opinion coalesces around the PQ. So for him, this trend really hurts because he understands how this works. The only difference for him is that he still has 3 years before the election.
Yeah.
So he has time to maneuver. It is doable, but it's tough.
It's an uphill. Yeah, I get it. I would ask you one thing, not that it specifically ties into this. The Liberals are still stuck here where they always have been. I think it was 16% in this poll. And I'm not sure I asked you this a while back, but this idea, again, of not having a leader of that party till spring of 2025. I look at this poll today, and a few listeners brought this up as well. If there was someone there, here's a perfect opportunity to take some shots at the CAQ because they're not doing well right now. And clearly, that's what the public is telling you. Yet there's nobody there. Is it a mistake to wait that long to appoint a leader or not?
Only if they have someone, because if they had an election leadership contest now, the only guy that's running is, even his name escapes me now, Philippe
Oh, Francis Beauchemin, is that the one?
Beauchemin, and he's being suspended from the caucus because there's an inquiry. So if there was someone that was ready and able, they could switch their position, because now that the PQ is ahead, the threat of independence comes back, and that's what the Liberals need. Because clearly, François Legault is not a good standard bearer for federalism, and so they need to be the one Federalist Party, pro-Canadian party, and they can gain from this new polarization and this possibility that PQ takes power. But you're right; they need someone stronger than Marc Tanguay to make this case.
All right, let me move on and talk about the economic fiscal update provided by the federal government yesterday, because it involves housing, and this is a Quebec issue as well. What did you make of what you heard?
Well, there was the cartoon in Toronto Star that was put online by the cartoonist, shows someone a kid looking at how do you call it, la vitrine,
The toilet?
La vitrine on a shop, it's all these gifts for housing, but only in 2025.
Okay.
All these gifts are there, $13 billion worth, okay, but you can't have them this Christmas or next Christmas. It's going to be in 2025. And so, on the housing side, that's pretty, it might be during the first budget of Pierre Poilievre's mandate, 2025, who knows? So that was more of a signaling than anything else. There are some good points, though. I think their initiative and trying to force banks to be more flexible when you will have to renew your loans. That's very welcome. A number of issues also for banking fees and airplane fees. So these are small things, but when you accumulate them, then you have a real impact on people's lives and the cost. Also, I'm very much in favor of strengthening the Competition Bureau, which was teethless or toothless for too long. Give them more power to bring about fair competition in the market. That should bring lower prices at some point. But that's not immediate, but you have to start somewhere. So in this case, there are good initiatives, but the overall picture will not be changed by what was announced yesterday.
By the way, I'd like to apologize. You said vitrine and you couldn't think of the English word. A vitrine is a display case. And, and I said toilet. It was not even close. I don't know where that came from. So I apologize. What's a toilet? What's a toilet in French, Jean-François?
I'll forgive you this time.
Thank you. I meant nothing by it. You know that. Jean-François Lisée, thank you so much.
Thank you, Aaron.
Talk to you next week.